Cindy and I have some very close friends, a couple who just love to entertain. They're well off, but they're exceedingly generous with what they do have. And they invite us to dinner about once a month or so. And if we go to a restaurant, it's going to be top-notch. Gourmet's delight with impeccable service because the wait staff and the management know them. If we go to their home, the wife will whip up extraordinary dishes that send the senses into overdrive. If she could prepare a roadkill, and you'd be coming back asking for more. And the company's even better. Warm, down to earth, and vibrant. We enjoy sharing part of ourselves with them. And needless to say, I know I'm always excited about these dinner dates. I can't wait for the next time we get together. Maybe you have some friends like this too. But you know, as I was thinking about this gospel today and the gospels for the next few weeks, it made me wonder, how excited do I get? Or do any of us get when Jesus invites us to dinner? We live in a world that has difficulty getting past its own immediate temporal needs, its own earthbound humanness. And little has changed in that regard over the centuries. In our story today, the second of several successive passages from the 6th chapter of John about the bread from heaven, the Eucharist. Jesus invites the crowd, in effect, to dinner. A dinner beyond their wildest dreams. A dinner where the parties don't just share part of themselves, but all of themselves. But listen to the first question that they ask. I think it's interesting. They say, Rabbi, when did you get here? Not how did you get here, or even why are you here? It seems that they were primarily concerned with their own immediate and temporal needs. The question they asked was about time and place, right now. Nothing more. The second question they asked was even more curious, I think. What can we do to accomplish the works of God? Think about that one. Who on earth can accomplish the divine through human effort? And while asking the third question, what can you do? They attribute the manna that their ancestors ate in the desert to the workings of Moses, all the while minimalizing the miracle of the loaves and fishes they witnessed and experienced just hours before. After all, Moses performed tons of signs and wonders in their 40 years of wandering through the desert. And this guy, Jesus, is just a beginner, right? I mean, one mind-blowing miracle and some healings and exorcisms here and there, and he thinks he's better than Moses. The whole time they're asking these questions, the answer to all of them is standing right in front of them. You see, like many of us do, the people in our story today were looking for Jesus instead of looking to Jesus. As I said before, not much has changed since then, except maybe the images we use to relate to certain things. They saw Jesus as some sort of faith healer, or maybe the more cynical among them, a performance artist, dispensing little diversions that might make them ooh and ah for the moment, that might fill an immediate need. And how often have I, or any of us, seen it as a kind of vending machine that we pop a few coins into in the form of prayer, when we need something to satisfy a want that we have. How often have I, or any of us, approached the Eucharistic table as casually as we would a snack machine? Because it's just what we do at that point in the Mass, without really realizing the eternal effects that it has. How many times have I, or any of us, looked for Jesus without looking to Jesus? We live in a quick and easy world grazing on junk food and wonder why we're not as healthy as we should be, when the truth, the reality, is that we were designed and created to strive for the divine and feast on the eternal in spiritual vitality. We can only live so long on diglycerides, ascorbic acids, hydrogenated shortening, and polysorbate 60. But we can live forever on the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. Jesus tells us in our gospel reading today that He's the bread of life, sealed by the Father. Did you know that the Hebrew word for baker is derived from the word seal? Because bakers would burn their personal seal into their loaves to ensure authenticity of the product. Take a look at the host you received at communion today. Jesus is the real deal. The most authentic person that ever lived. And He wants to give Himself to us completely. But He doesn't come quick and easy, folks. In fact, He tells us today that we have to work for the food that endures for eternal life. And what kind of work do we have to do? Believe. Believe. Believe that Jesus is truly present in the Eucharist. Believe that Jesus is truly the answer to all of our questions. Believe that Jesus can pull us out of our earthbound selves and bring us to our heavenly and eternal selves in Him. Believe that through Him, with Him, and in Him, we can accomplish signs and wonders that minimize not only Moses' career, but as he told us in the Gospels, that would be even more amazing than what he did. But before we can do any of this kind of work, we need a very special tool. One that Father Norman told us about last week in his homily. We need to have faith. And church, do you remember what faith stands for? Forsaking all, I trust Him. Let's say it together. Forsaking all, I trust Him. We've been invited to dinner with Jesus today. For the best of all food, but now it's Him who's asking the questions. Have we got faith? Do we believe it? Can we get excited about it? Will we accept His invitation?